So we started this out in February, and we stayed the course. That's the one thing that they've done a great job of. They just stayed the course all year, and today we felt if we could get off to a good start, that we really felt Wyatt could be really good against these guys. He was good against them over there. He got out of that jam in the first inning, and then from there, he just really dominated his opponent from there and gave us a lot of energy. And we knew their guy was going to be good. He's kind of like Gunnar Leger. He can sit there and manage a ball game. And we got a couple critical hits at a critical time in the game, and got a little bit of cushion. And then we were able to get another run, and then Thurnman picked us up. We didn't get that run in from third late, and he got a big knock right there at the end to give Demo a little bit of breathing room. The big thing I think in the seventh inning was being able to get the Demo to 6 outs. We had a lefty up and Harris to be able to handle those lefties if we felt we needed to bridge the gap to Demo. But the great thing that Wyatt did is going 90 pitches into this heat and being able to dominate his opponent. So I couldn't be more proud of these guys. They've stayed the course. I mean, that's the whole thing about this is just stay in the course. And now we'll go home. Not a lot of turnaround time. I'm going to get home late tonight, up early tomorrow, 11 o'clock selection show, see what's going on. We'll see. Tonight we'll be on the bus when they let out the sites. We'll see if we're fortunate enough to host. Our biggest thing this year was to get to 40 by 20, to get to 40 wins. That was one of our goals, to win a conference championship, to win a conference tournament championship, and then to host a regional, and then reset our goals after that. So hopefully on the way home, they reward us and reward our fans. That's something that we're really pulling for, is to bring it back to Lafayette and bring it to our fans.
Questions for the student athletes only. Wyatt, how important was it for you guys defensively in that seventh inning when first, you get the panic trying to get that guy second, just calming out the guys first, and then how long before you guys turned the thrown out, trying to steal the runner coming in?
That took a lot of pressure off of it. That took a lot of pressure off of it. I mean, I just had to. Coach Robe came out and calmed things down, and just had to make my pitches and let my defensive work.
Is it relaxing going out there today, knowing that you guys were in Illinois and still to remain as if you'll be home or not? That kind of make it relaxed, where you weren't in a win or go home.
Yes, sir. Just had to go out there and control what you can control.
First inning, they had really one of their only 2 scoring threats. Just a thought on how you were able to get out of that jam and really be able to settle down throughout the final innings of pitch.
I mean, it was just, if they were going to score, just let it be 1 or 2 and not let the gates open and just try and get a ground ball and get your defensive work.
Wyatt, you look like your slider was really working today, especially. Is that maybe something that hasn't been as on the last couple outings as today was?
Maybe so, but I was also pitching off my fastball too, which opens up the slider.
Nick, how on that flip where you got the Cobb steal, and how confident were you that was going to work like it did?
We in our first and third plays, we have multiple plays, and that one just was a throw through, and at that point, we were up, so just getting an out was the big thing, and Trosclair did a great job of holding on to the ball, making sure that if the guy from third did take off, he was going to be able to get him out at home. So it was kind of a slow developing play, but Trosclair handled it perfectly, and we were able to get it out, and the guy just stayed at third.
Nick, oftentimes you see a team hit itself out in the game after 17 runs yesterday. I mean, I know the drop third strike got the inning going in fifth, but just how were you all able to stay patient and wait until you guys got settled in for the final few innings?
We have a saying, just keep calm and grind, and that's kind of been our motto throughout the season. A lot in the season we've been behind, and we know that if it doesn't happen early, our inning's coming, and the pitcher's job is just make that inning relevant. And I think Wyatt did a good job of that today, and knowing that we just take everything one pitch at a time, it just was able to keep us calm and wait for a moment to happen.
When did you know?
Whenever he got out that jam, the first jam he was in, whenever he can get out of that with his slider, and once he's, like he said, whenever he's pitching off his fastball, it just opens up so much more depth and deception to that slider. So, I mean, a lot of them were swinging at it out the hand, and sometimes, it might not even made it to the plate, but his motions, his arm speed's so good on it that he was able to just fool most of the hitters.
I think you were really good at the plate this week. You've been kind of coming up strong lately. Are you just seeing the ball a little bit?
That's probably it. I'm probably just seeing the ball a little better than it was like about halfway through the season. Minor adjustments. Slowing the game down, keep hitting simple. Staying inside the ball, everything. Seeing it deep, letting it develop late, not trying to jump, not trying to swing out the hand. Just kind of taking that bats really slow.
First team to win 3 Sun Belt tournament titles in a row. What's that mean to both of you guys? Especially, both of you, especially you that being a part of all 3.
Yeah, it's pretty special. Anytime you can make history, is your name's going to be written down, and if anybody else can do it, hats off to them. But I think what we did was pretty special, and it's going to take some work to top it. And next year we're going to fight hard to make it 4. So, and I think being a part of all 3 of them, me speaking personally, I've been in all the situations. So to be able to slow the game down and not get too big and doing everything right, and then our young guys like Wyatt, Gunner, all them, who all have just matured outstandingly throughout the season. They've just done a great job of, not letting the moment define them. They define the moment.
Why what's it mean to you to keep it going?
I mean, it means more than you can think. It's for the town, our town and everything. All those people at the Teague and stuff. That's what it's all about.
Well, how good it feel for you? Everyone on the coaches say that's what we're waiting for. To host this well on this big stage. How that's good for you personally?
It feels good. It's what it's what the coaches want us to go out there and compete, and give our team a chance to win.
This goes to haircut.
Probably.
Guys, one more question for both of you. You think you've done enough to bring that one back to the team next week?
I think so. I think we have one of the best atmospheres in the country, and that speaks a lot to our fans. I think we have the greatest fans in the country, and whenever I came on my visit here, that's one of the things that pulled me in, for our fans. So I think we kind of deserve it. The way we've battled throughout the season. We've had our ups, we've had our downs, and I think we've pulled strong in the end, and I think we definitely deserve to host.
How many pants did you go through this weekend?
4 games, 6 pairs of pants. So sorry for whoever washes them. Dirt turns to mud. Sorry about that.
Wyatt, how big would it be for you to throw one more game this year?
Definitely the place where you want to throw in that environment. Everyone there. It'd mean a lot.
Any other questions for student athletes? Thanks, guys.
Congrats, guys. What's the inside joke on seeing the ball? Everybody starts laughing when I ask.
Seeing the ball.
That's if you're seeing the ball better. Everybody starts laughing.
I don't know. I guess I was doing worse in the game than what they thought. I guess I wasn't seeing the ball at all.
I want to get contacts or glasses or something.
Where's tequila come from?
Tequila? My walk-up song at home.
Is that it? That's the only word that they say in it, so I'm the tequila guy.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
All right, questions for Coach?
To that 7th inning that Western got, it was still tight then, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
March did not panic at all. He didn't field it cleanly, but did not panic at all, and then just execute properly on the steal play. How big were those?
Well, in this ballpark, they hit one really deep foul. A ball can get out of here pretty quick, and so the game was very close right there. And we were trying to posture throughout the ball game to work off of how Wyatt was doing, because they had stacked all those lefties together. So we wanted Hogan to bridge the gap to Demo. So Hogan was up, and when he came back around through those lefties again, they dropped that bunt down. I thought he could have attacked it a little bit better, but he dropped it, but he had the wherewithal to pick it back up and not let the inning speed out of control. And so that was a big inning, because it puts a freshman in potentially. He's a good one, and I think he matched up really good against these guys with all the stacked lefties. But he calmed down right there, and he made the big pitch when he needed to make it. I went out and asked him how he felt because, 89, 90 pitches is not per se a lot for a starter, but when you're in this heat, you got to tack another 10, 15 on because of the heat. And so we felt when he was able to get out of that inning, with 6 outs, we had cut it to 6 now instead of 9 in this heat, and Demo had worked already earlier in the tournament. So that was really a big inning, not to let that get away, because we were caught right there a little bit in what we were going to do pitching-wise. We really didn't want Demo to go 9 outs. We wanted him to go 6. And so that was a critical inning right there.
You guys set a tournament record for strikeouts at a park like this with the wind's blowing out, balls are leaving the park, carrying. How important is that to take that kind of out of the equation?
Well, it's huge. It's not in our notebook. We don't work we're not real big on it. If we get them, we get them. But this team's been very good at executing and being able to elevate the ball. And we were able to do that throughout the whole weekend here. And I think that's what gave a lot of people trouble, because when you hit in a ballpark like this, you look for the ball up because you want to try to get it out of the ballpark. And our pitchers did a great job of not being afraid not to elevate. And that's what gets you in ballparks like this. You can get spooked, and then pretty soon you pitch against the ballpark instead of just going ahead and pitching the way you should be pitching. So I thought our hitters did a great job. And again, Daniel Freeman does a great job. Our coaching staff have done a great job all year. You can't get here with one guy. Our new strength coach, James Lang, came on, to help us throughout this year. He's done an outstanding job. Brian Davis, our trainer, been able to keep all these guys healthy through all the heat exhaustion and everything else. And, our equipment managers, Colin and Jacob, 2 bullpen guys, man, the 2 guys that catch down that bullpen in this heat every day. And Jeff Patton and Connor Romero, man. I mean, they half of our pitching system, because they the ones down in the bullpen handling the pitchers more than we are. And so they've done a great job. Our pitching staff has been very mature all year, even though it's sophomores. It's been very mature in the way it's prepared itself to pitch. And I think that's why part of the process of why where we are. We're very high in the country in WHIP. And we've been very fortunate. Our strikeouts have been high this year, and our walk ratio has been down. So that's the killer, man, is the walk. And our pitchers have done a great job. We played very good defense here all week. That's important. Our goal was to get rid of walks and errors in this ballpark, because you can score in bunches if you don't. And I thought the pitching staff and the defense did a good job all weekend.
Can you talk about the difference in intensity, at least early on, where you knew you guys were already in, trying to get a home spot, while they had to win and get in, and I guess how you adjusted?
Well, I think, like Thurnman said it really good. We have a saying, stay calm and grind. And, that's the old slogan they use, the SEALs use, the calmest guy on the battlefield bleeds less. And, we want to just try to stay calm in those situations, try to make our inning, like Wyatt said, we're going to have an inning, make it relevant, give your team a chance to win. We knew Challenger was going to be good. But he had thrown earlier in the tournament, so the 20-pitch inning, I think, really helped us in the first inning. Didn't have a lot to show for it, but we pushed him 20 pitches in the first inning, and I thought that was big. And then that eventually got to the bullpen.
Coach, overall, could you have asked for a better week? I mean, played well with the lead, played well without the lead. Pitching looked great, hitting looked great.
Well, I think they played their best baseball late in the season, and too many people panic early in the year, and we didn't let that define us. Like Thurm said, you don't let moments define you, you define moments. And I thought that being able to stay the course, keeping their ears tucked in when times were tough, and just maneuvering the lineup when it didn't hit, and trying to pitch when it didn't hit, trying to play defense when it didn't hit. Then one game we don't pitch here, and we give up our milk, and the hitters come right back and pick us back up. So they just played their best baseball late, which you got to hope for. Is you got to keep this going now, because this is not it for us. I mean, this is pieces of the puzzle along the way, and now, the field's going to get salty now. It's going to narrow down to 64, and so you're going to have to now rise up and continue to play your best baseball and have people step up and play big like they did all this week.
You said on Monday
Well, we think we did everything that we handled everything that we could handle. You can't go back and change a win or a loss here, or something along the way that happened. It's gone now. We tried to take care of everything that was in front of us to the best of our ability, and we hope we get to bring it back for our fans. I mean, we'll go play on the road. I mean, we've learned how to win on the road. I mean, early in the year, we couldn't win on the road. We had to learn how to win on the road. And I said that earlier. To be a champion, you got to learn to win on the road. And this team has learned to win on the road. I'm not fearful to go on the road. If my name comes up and it's on the road, I don't care. The one thing that I know all our players and coaches wanted back in Lafayette for is to have it back for our school. To have it back for our university. Early in the year, Wyatt came to me and said, "Coach, I haven't seen the new jerseys you've ordered or whatever for this year, but we talked as players, we would like to not have nameplates because we think the name across our chest is more important than the names on our back." And man, that's pretty good from a young sophomore to come to you and tell you that they don't want nameplates. That they want to be proud of the name across their chest, and I think that's why they did what they did. That jersey's important to them. The name across their chest is important to them. I think our softball team battles like that, and it was an honor and a privilege to watch them, battle in Oklahoma and battle on national television. That's a privilege, man, to go battle, and then to go battle nationally acclaimed people. I love that. This is good right here, but what I like is what's fixing to happen, where you get to go out and do what Coach Loteef and them do year in and year out, and that's battle national people. That does nothing but help our university, and all the mayhem today of people getting arrested and doing crazy stuff. That brings a lot of acclaim to the university too. But we want to try to always bring positive stuff back to our university. And our president, Dr. Savoie, and Scott Former has worked very hard to help our athletic department move forward. And we're trying to continue to move it forward too, in everything that we can, because the further we go, the more it helps us build a nicer stadium, reward the fans. That's why I hope we can host, is to bring it back to the stadium, and to confirm why we need to continue to grow and continue to expand our stadium.
You talked about that. Did you ever hear the guys, the players, talking about coming in here, doing well, and then getting to go back home? Or was it
Nothing.
something that wasn't even on?
They've been very, very tight-lipped. The only thing that they've constantly said throughout this is no backup plan. And that's all they said is throughout this whole thing is no backup plan. They didn't want to come in and play as if they had a backup plan. And I give them a lot of credit, because that's hard to keep out of their heads, but I never heard it. I never heard them looking at RPI. I never saw them, or talking about it. Now, of course, they don't always say everything around me, but I thought they did a great job of staying focused in the hotel, staying focused in the booth, and taking everything by levels. This was one step right here. Let's take care of this and then move on. They've been real good at that, have been able to survive and advance, instead of trying to put so much ahead of themselves. And I also believe, in their crawl a little bit, as somebody started us out early pretty high at the beginning of the year because they were ranking off last year's team, and we needed to get to the point where we could forge our own identity and forge who we are. That was last year's team, and it took us some time to do that. And I think along the way, what they've done is they've forged some identity. And we've talked about this all year. You don't have to be ranked number one to be number one. But they did a great job. Again, my coaching staff, the job JT and Coach Babb did, and our two student coaches, and Greg Davis and Shug. I mean, those guys are really good. And again, the back end of our dugout, from Charpentier and Reagan Bizarre, and Izzy Edwards hasn't played much lately, and Jam Williams sits there and only pinch runs, and Sharp's been up and down yesterday, didn't get in, and Zonbreaker, Derek Harrington coming in and letting Sensley hit and then go play defense for him, and if the game turns, hey, we'll pinch hit for you. I mean, we got some guys that have could be some crummy roles, but they take those roles and they perfect them. And again, I really believe a lot of why we here is the bottom of our bench is outstanding. It's not poisonous.
Coach, you got pretty good at dodging the Gatorade bat. You
I
learned-
dodged the first one, but they got me on the second one.
yeah,
No,
I
they
didn't see
they
that one.
they set me up. Yeah, they did. And you know, you should never open your mouth. I just told them after I dodged it, you know, this is 30 years, and then 5 minutes later, they set me up. But I'll get Stokey back. Stokey was good. He set me up. He held me in place, and they got me. But you know what? That means something good has happened. So we'll take them.
It's been like 12 or 13 days since Mark's last group. Do you think that time off maybe helped him a little bit?
Well, you know, anytime you get rest, I think it's a good thing. But we go back to the saying, work while you wait. And that's our number one saying, and they buy into it and they understand it. You know, instead of pouting because you're not pitching, you know, work while you wait. Yesterday, you know, when the game was over, the team got on the bus, but he stayed and he flat ground, but nobody hardly in the stadium. So, you know, that's a good sign of working while I wait. And he stayed sharp, and the game paid him back.
For Thurnman to have the kind of offensive input he had this week, I mean, that's your 8-hole hitter, being the tournament's most outstanding player.
No doubt. I mean, just, you know, no weak-mindedness. You know, just not believing you're tired. There's no reason you can't do what you're doing. There's no reason you can't be the most valuable player unless you pull and reach into the sky and pull out that alibi that, you know, my legs are tired and I can't hit. But that's an alibi, man. I mean, you don't get anywhere in life alibi. And the one thing I'm proud of him on is that, you know, he understands that. And he doesn't reach for that alibi because he could. He could reach for it easy, and there's a lot of people that probably feel sorry for him. But, you know, he doesn't feel sorry for himself, and I'm just so glad. And I just think it's the game paying him back. I mean, when you're that unselfish, and you do what's best for the team. Thurnman's not doing it for himself. He didn't hit that home run today for him. He hit that for us. He didn't get the most valuable player today for him. He got the most valuable player for us. Our players understand that. You know, Wyatt didn't get that award today for himself. He got that award for us. He didn't go out there and pitch well today for himself. He went out there and pitched well for us. And I think that's why they're such a good team right now, is that they're doing it for each other more than they are themselves. And I think when you do stuff like that, servant leadership, when you learn to serve other people before you serve yourself, then life knows who to pay back, and the game knows who to pay back.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you, man.